What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Charm City Heavyweights Podcast, brought to you by Great Eights Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, is Josh Merrill, my esteemed co-host. Josh, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Matt? Coming live from the man cave. It was a packed cave today. It was a beautiful day. It is a great time to be a Ravens fan. Fuck the Dolphins. They went back crying. They went back hurt. They went back bruised and ashamed. And this team has everything it needs to get to the promised land. The only thing that can stop this team is this team.
Hey, I love it. It's a victory show. We got a chance to watch the game together today, along with our buddy Frank. Had the kids running around, causing chaos. Before we get started, thank you for hosting the game. And you guys were great hosts. Jess cooked a lot of great food. It was a great atmosphere. It was nice hanging out with your dad again too.
That's what the K is all about.
Yeah, I was honored to have an invite. You know, the girls got a chance to hang out with Hunter, and it was an overall good day. We put up 56 points on the so-called high-octane, intimidating.
I tried telling them Dolphins dudes you had on here the other day. They kept saying we got to contain Lamar. Like, bro, it ain't. You can't say that anymore. There's no contain him. Okay, keep him in the pocket. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it was one of those.
He's going to pick you apart. Outside the number throws today. Very impressed with his outside the number throws.
He was completing passes outside the numbers. He was efficient. He had more touchdown passes than he did incompletions, and that was fantastic to see. He was efficient.
He had a crazy QBR. His quarterback. It was like 156 or whatever it was.
158.3. He had a perfect quarterback rating.
Right.
He had 321 yards to go with the 5 touchdowns. It was a fantastic end to a rather rough stretch of games. It's been a gauntlet the last 4 or 5 weeks, and we are rolling right now.
If I said to you earlier here in the cave, I said, if I would have told you at the beginning of this last final stretch when we were all like, damn, we got San Fran, we got Miami, we got LA, they're no cakewalk, we got these tough games. And if I would, and Jacksonville, sorry. And if I would have told you we would go undefeated down that stretch, we're going to beat LA. We're going to go to Jacksonville on Sunday night where the Ravens have historically played terrible. And we played great. We torched them. Then we go out to San Fran. Oh, man, this game, I'm trying because I don't want to get, hurt. So I'm protecting myself. This game really don't mean anything. Next week's Miami game. But we go out there, and I wanted to win, and we punched them in the face. Then we come home, and the game kind of starts off like, oh, it's going to be one of them games. The offensive juggernaut back and forth. Whoever has the ball last wins. And the Ravens just proceed to score 56 points. The defense in the second half especially locked in, started getting pressure, started confusing Tua, and it just changed the game. Roquan Smith's one-handed interception changed the momentum of the game, flipped the game, and after that, Miami couldn't score with us. All season we've been hearing this high-octane offense coming out of Miami. They could not score with us. When is the last time as a Ravens fan have you heard someone say that, sir?
You know what? Here's the crazy
octane offense could not keep up when pace with scoring with us.
Before the interception, though, Josh, our buddy Frank, who is an avid watcher and listener on the show, was also in the cave with us, this afternoon. He said the turning point of the game when we started getting our momentum rolling was that beautiful toe tap catch by Odell Beckham Jr. within the 5-yard line, within 5 yards in the goal line, which totally elevated us because we didn't look back after that. We never forfeited the lead. This didn't give the same vibes that the game had last year. The only thing was
they never had a chance, bro.
But we dominated them start to finish. I know they punched us in the mouth the opening drive. We counterpunched, and they really didn't do anything until we had our backups in at that point. I was impressed with the offensive line. Shout out, like our listener, Dez. Dez, what's up, bro?
What's up, Dez?
Glad that you're tuning in. Hats off to
Justice Hill. Smart man, Dez.
And shout out to Ben Cleveland. Ben Cleveland probably played his best professional game to date today.
Yeah, he
He
played
filled
well.
in admirably for Kevin Zeitler. I'm not saying that he's going to be our starting right guard next year if Zeitler retires or he
I
leaves.
mean, it would be nice. That's what we drafted him for, dude.
Drafted him for that, but the thing is, he's showing promise. He was in the trenches with that defensive line's no joke. Zach Seiler, Christian Wilkins, those dudes are ballers.
Yeah.
And Seiler made a good play today on the Gus fumble. He has a high motor. He held his own in the trenches. Tyler Linderbaum, another fantastic football game. Ronnie Stanley, fantastic football game. Morgan Moses played a hell of a game. This is the first game in about a month where we didn't see McCary and Falele as often as we usually do, which is
Stanley looked better last week. I was telling people in film he was anchoring last week. It was the first time I'd seen it in a very long time.
He looks like
and
he's back.
Now he's going to get 3 weeks off essentially. Now he can let anybody rest for 3 weeks.
I really don't know what they're going to do. It's still really early. I know that
they ain't playing next week. They're not.
By the way, the clip of John Harbaugh dancing in the locker room is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. He was getting,
he deserves it.
He was having a ball the time of his life. These guys are playing great football. Another guy I want to shout out from our listener Tim. Bateman's been so good. Bateman is going to be huge down this stretch. He's starting to get his legs under him. He's getting more targets. Odell Beckham Jr., he is going to be this Ravens team's Anquan Bolden. I'm not talking about going over the middle and being that nasty middle linebacker that can catch type of wide receiver, but that veteran that knows how to lead, that's been there to the promised land before. I truly believe that he is going to be that Anquan Bolden type to this playoff run. Now,
I gotta agree with you, Matt.
We clinched the first round bye. We clinched it. We're in the road to the AFC.
Whoa, you're forgetting something. We clinched the first round bye, but we clinched something else.
The AFC North, correct?
Since 2019, first time we got the division.
Yes,
back in Baltimore where it belongs.
We got the division back. That's all well and good. I don't know if they're going to rest everybody, but if they do, I'm cautiously optimistic that it's not going to be the same turnout as 4 years ago. But we need to get a lot of these guys.
Matt, it's a tough situation, man. It's easy for us to say, but if he plays them and Lamar goes out there and gets hurt, then we're all going to say, what the F was he in
I'm not talking about Lamar. I'm not talking about Lamar necessarily. I know Stanley probably needs his rest. I would say rest Zeitler. Marlon's probably going to need a rest. So we might be seeing our B team go into the bank against Pittsburgh.
This is going to be on the coaching staff. They're going to have to keep the guys in the same focus. They're going to have hard practices to keep them in the same routine. And it's just the way. I mean, he's got to be safe. I mean, if I'm him, no one's playing next week that has any value in the playoffs.
Even though this is technically it might be 2 NFL weeks that the Ravens starters aren't going to be on the field, but that's technically going to be almost 3 entire weeks in real time.
Yeah, because the bye, right?
Because
3 entire weeks.
Not only
the next game,
but they're not going to play next week. So
right,
yeah. So you're talking about these guys not being back in a meaningful football game until January 15th.
But what is putting them out there for a few drives do for people who are saying that?
No. I'm just we came out flat last time, but I think this is a different football team. It's a different
man.
Squad. I believe that we're going to be more prepared. I'll tell you this right now. Roquan and Pat Queen need a break next week. They shouldn't suit up.
No. Queen's shoulder is killing him.
Like a month.
Yeah, his shoulder's killing him.
Roquan Smith was wearing 2 harnesses today. Get Marcus Williams off the field. Get Geno off the field. Run with your B defense. Run with your B offensive line. Let Huntley get some reps. I'm cool with all that, Josh. I'm totally fine with all of that.
I still want to be Pittsburgh though with the backup.
I mean, here's the thing: Pittsburgh is going to go out there and they're going to have their ones. Did they win today? I stopped watching football after.
I think they won. Yeah, I believe they won. Someone let us know in the comments.
I mean, they're fighting for a wild card, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go balls to the wall. I'm okay if they want to rest everybody. As long as we need to make sure that we get healthy, and whoever comes to the bank the weekend of January 15th, that's one of those situations that we need to be ready to play football, and I'm cool with that. 2019 is always going to be in the back of my mind. I can't help it. It's how I'm wired because we've been here before. But this is a different football team from 4 years ago. Lamar is a seasoned veteran now. He's playing the best football of his career. He also locked down MVP today. I know we haven't talked about that yet. The dude locked it down. I don't care if he only has 24 touchdown passes or whatever it may be.
He had to lock it down.
He locked it down. I think he locked it down in the first half of the game, and he just solidified it with an even better.
And it's probably going to be unanimous.
If it's not unanimous, it'll be damn near close. But you can't deny this anymore. And I don't care about the stats play a huge part in who gets MVP. But if Lamar isn't the quarterback on this football team, we win 5 games, maybe 6. Yeah. We're picking in the top 10 without Lamar on this football team. And I'll tell you this. We owe our listeners a huge apology because we were both so pissed off with this whole contract saga and the shit that we were talking about 9 months ago. And here we are. It
dragged us down, man. We were tired of it.
We were tired of it, but we stuck. We owned our shit, and here we are, first round bye, 13-3, possibly 14-3 after the Steelers game, or 13-4. But Lamar is the MVP, and it's not even close. I thought he nailed it on Christmas night, but now you followed up on New Year's Eve day. Dude's playing out of his mind. He is an absolute leader. He's making all the throws now. He would have probably had more yards if Rashad Bateman holds on to that long toss. Your dad said it, plain as day. That's on Bateman to hold on to that football.
Yeah, your hands are on it, man. You got to come down with it. You're a first round pick, bro.
It was inexcusable, but he made up for it because Bateman is a chain mover. The dude knows
all year, dude. He's been he's like 4 sneaky plays a game. So he'll get like a 30-yard catch down the middle somewhere or outside somewhere.
Odell had a great day.
He sure
Big
did.
Play Zay Flowers. The dude has arrived. He is knocking on the door of a 1,000-yard season, being the second option for the first half of the year, and then really stepping up when Mark Andrews got injured. Isaiah likely another fantastic football game. Now, one thing I'm interested in.
That one-handed catch, dude, was amazing.
One-handed catch, the dive from the 3 while guys are still hitting him, and then the sneaky, sitting in the zone coverage and sneaking off to the left for Lamar on the bootleg for the second touchdown. That was great. Now I'm interested to see when Andrews. I don't think Andrews is going to sit his ass on this bench for the playoffs. I believe we get Andrews back. He's close. You and I both noticed him on the sideline a couple times today. He's back with the team. I believe we see Andrews in the divisional round, and now it'll be interesting to see how we use Likely and Andrews together, because now
you can't take Likely out the game plan. You can't.
You can't. I totally 100% agree with you that you can't. Likely can be our big body receiver that we can use for the playoffs and all that. But he's proving his worth. It's a complete team effort. Justice Hill had another fantastic football game. He was great in the return game. Almost broke a return touchdown. He's an asset in the pass catching game. Gus scored touchdown number 13 today. Combined, I know Justice Hill had 110 scrimmage yards. Gus had 70 on the ground. He averaged about 4.5. Lamar averaged almost 18 yards of completion. If you do the math, I believe the offense was rolling, and the way that they didn't take their foot off the gas, they came out in the second half. They're still scoring. The defense gets another turnover when the backup quarterback comes in. They beat Tua into submission. This is another starting quarterback, another elite starting quarterback yet again.
Dude, I've never seen a team in my life play out this many good teams. Every big game we played this year, we've blown them out. Yes. All of our losses were cheesy losses where we effed ourselves somehow.
Right. And the announcers today, I love Iron Eagle. They brought it up, and Charles Davis, that we have not been behind a football game within 2 minutes of the final whistle in every single football game.
Yeah.
16 games we have not. We've blown all of our leads. We've blown in either the final 2 minutes or in overtime.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking, we could possibly be 15-1 right now, maybe undefeated, as your dad said in the cave earlier. It
Sure.
was it's crazy that we've beaten our and there's no team in this league right now that wants to see us. People can talk about the Cleveland Browns and Joe Flacco and all the stuff they want. I'm happy for Joe, but it's playoff football. This shit matters now. We are the hottest team in football. We are a buzzsaw. We have beat every team that has come our way. The last month and a half, we beat the shit out of the Detroit Lions. We stomped the Seattle Seahawks. We put boots to asses on San Francisco on Christmas night. We beat the shit out of Miami today, and we're rolling. This is the most efficient and well-oiled team in the NFL. And I will not even sit here and lie and say that I thought this was going to be how we were. I thought we were going to be maybe the 3 or the 4 seed and maybe get a home game in wild card weekend, but we have taken this entire league by storm, and it's dangerous because we don't know if this is still even the peak Ravens.
Yeah. I hope it's not. I hope they can get better. Shit.
Because right now the road to Vegas goes through M&T Bank Stadium, and that stadium was absolutely rocking today.
Imagine it when it's playoff time. It's going to be shaking.
It's incredible. They honored Ray Rice today. They had the elite combination of the uniform with the black top and the purple bottom. Everybody got involved on the offense. I know we've been talking heavily about the offense, but let's talk about this defense, man. Matt Abike with another sack. Every time he gets another sack, I just hear the money signs cha-ching, cha-ching in my ears. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude's going to get paid.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
But I know we're going to franchise tag him. Gino with interception number 7. He had a good game today. Jadeveon Clowney causing havoc on the edges. Him and Van Noy were getting pressure. We didn't sack Tua a whole lot, but we got pressure. We forced
Made enough to make them uncomfortable, for sure.
Yeah, and your dad is absolutely correct, man. And shout out to Mr. Chris. When Tua gets pressure, he is not a good quarterback.
No, he's very inaccurate. He can't stand in there and fire. That's his weakness.
Yeah, and your
He
dad
can't stand in there and fire.
in the first quarter of the game, they said, we get in his face, this is going to be a long day for him. And I'll be damned if he wasn't absolutely 100% spot on, because you get pressure into his face, it's going to be a long day for him. And we nullified Tyreek Hill. I know he had a couple catches where he got some first downs, but we kept him in front of us, didn't get up the long ball. That running back a chain, he could have done a lot more damage with it. If this game was close, they would have ran the ball with him. That would have been trouble. But they were playing catch up, so they couldn't clamp down and run the ball like the way they wanted to.
Call it what it is. Like I said earlier, this high-octane Miami Dolphins offense we've been hearing about all season could not keep up, not even close with our offense. They could not stay on pace. Lamar is playing lights out right now. He is in a zone that I've never seen a quarterback. The closest thing maybe I ever seen to it in my life was Flacco on his Super Bowl run. He's in a zone, locked in. He's not messing around. He's confident in all his decisions. He's seeing the field extremely well. He's making the right calls at the line. This team is just gelled together, man. And I don't know how far it's going to go, man, but this is one of the most complete Ravens teams I've ever seen in my life. And I've never said that before. I've never said that before.
Top to bottom,
Top to bottom, they're complete. Early in the season, Todd Monken said, basically to the media a few times, and when he said it kind of annoyed me, because I'm thinking, we think you're Mike Elias from the Orioles? We don't trust you that much to give time. When he's like, give it time. It takes time. It's a lot for everyone to take in. It's a lot, for me to learn Lamar and how to fit him in this. And man, he was right. It never looked bad. It's looked good from the beginning. But as the season goes, Lamar gets better and better in his offense. He said on ESPN a few weeks ago he has the keys. He can do whatever he wants, change into whatever he wants.
And he was doing that at the line of scrimmage a lot
Oh
today.
yeah,
He wasn't just making a check or a hand motion. He's having entire conversations with his running back and his offensive line. You see him walking up and down the line. And part of that is the fact that we get to the line of scrimmage and there's still 20 seconds left on the play clock. So he has a whole lot. 20 seconds.
The plays are coming in fast, man, and that's what good OCs do.
And he was down there in full command, the way you want to see a quarterback be in command of that offense. I don't care what anybody says. The dude has a grasp on this offense, and he is out there doing what he sees fit, and he's making plays. And he's not even really running anymore. He's really toned down the running. I know that he ran a couple times a day to get a couple first downs, but that was to move the chains and keep the drive alive. I think he had one design run on that RPO, and he was stuffed on that third down. But we went for it on fourth down. I think it's when he threw the touchdown pass to Likely, and it's one. I want to, we can talk about the offense all night, Josh, until the ball drops. But this defense played without Marlon Humphrey for the whole second half of the game. Actually, probably the 2.5 quarters. He got hurt midway through the second quarter. Marlon Humphrey out. No Brandon Stevens. No Kyle Hamilton. Our inside linebackers are literally running on empty right now. And the secondary stepped up huge. Geno had a hell of a game. Marcus Williams played a good game. Even though he's playing with one arm, had another good game. Shout out to Ronald Darby. Ronald Darby played his ass off. Rock Ya-Sin, not the best cornerback in the world.
He played well though.
He played well. He was getting beat a little bit, but Daryl
played okay.
We lost Daryl Worley and Michael Pierce in the beginning of the second half. They collided on a play downfield. Brent Urban stepped up, had another fantastic game. Had 2 sacks last week, had a couple pressures this week, a couple tackles in the run game. Travis Jones playing his ass off. Dude is showing why he should have been a higher pick than what he is. Travis Jones is going to be an absolute menace in that middle because people don't realize that dude is 6'5" and probably about 350 pounds. That is a massive human being, and he moves rather well for his size. It was just an overall complete effort on that defense. They didn't give up any of the big plays. They gave up a couple runs to the outside, but I'll say this: they're playing the run, the way they should. They're not letting anything, come up the middle on them. They're getting beat on the outside, but they're keeping everything relatively under wraps. Arthur Millette, another great game. He's fantastic in the run game. He's up in the box making tackles like he's a goddamn defensive end.
Sure is.
He's
all
great.
These corners we grabbed at the beginning of the season were all so panicked. Our secondary is going to be the weakness of the team. Secondary is the weakness, and it's been the strength all year.
It has been, and here's the thing: Eric DaCosta, if he doesn't win Executive of the Year, it's a fucking crime. And I'm not going to say it because of us being 13-3, winning the division, clinching the first round bye. It's the moves that he made that flew under the radar. It's the claiming Millette. It's re-signing Daryl Worley. It's giving Jadeveon Clowney pretty much free reign to sign here after camp is over, and he adjusts into the defense the way he did. Grabbing Kyle Van Noy off the couch in week 4 and him not only being a contributor but being a starter. Going out and bringing Brent Urban back for another year. The draft class that he had this year. Kyle Hamilton developing into one of the best overall football players in the NFL. DaCosta's done a lot. And we've given DaCosta shit over his draft classes the last couple of years, with him having a hit and a miss. It seems like almost every other draft class, and this dude has knocked it out of the ballpark this year. bringing in guys like Millette, where nobody he was on the scrap heap. Pittsburgh got rid of him. We bring him to Baltimore. He buys in. He's a team guy. He's playing special. He started off playing special teams, worked his way into the rotation. He's our dime back. He leapfrogged Rocky Sin, who was a starter with the Las Vegas Raiders last year. It's a testament to his keen eye for talent and the entire scouting department. So the Costa dude has been A1 in the last 18 months or so putting together this football team.
Absolutely, you got to give him his credit, and we give him a hard time sometimes, but that's part of his job. Yeah, he's put together a great roster. You said it, man. You couldn't ask for a better roster. Uh, Everybody has just worked out. It's I've never seen anything like it, man. This has been a magical year. I hope it ends like we all want it to end, but if it doesn't, this has been a magical year, man. This team is awesome. I want Lamar to get an effing ring so bad, dude. I want him to get a ring. I want him to have a ring so bad so that can be all for him and he never has to worry about anyone saying that to him again. Uh, and then after that, it's all bonus, man. If he gets another one, even better, another one, even better. And this kid, man, he got the money. A lot of times you see guys get money and their play drops, but he's gotten better. He took a step forward. He knew they paid him to be the franchise. Harbaugh was on record last week or the week before saying how, Lamar's stepped up more vocal. He's involved in everything. He's involved in the game plans. He's involved in play designs. He's involved in everything, and he didn't just take the money. He took the responsibility of receiving that money, which a lot of guys don't always do when they get that big check. So hats off to him, man. I think his style all year has been genius. He has played to be there in December, late in February. He has played all year to get to that point. I think that's why he wasn't running like we all wanted him to. Sometimes, he was saving his body and man, he got there. He finished the season healthy. Now we're going into the playoffs. Let's see what happens, man.
Yeah. Arguably, the Costa's two biggest acquisitions in the last season or two have been Roquan, as Tim Biggs pointed out, or one of our listeners. Roquan's trade, this defense has been top notch ever since. And
Yep.
then, and then I hate to do that. I told you so, but Odell Beckham Jr., we signed him for this type of play at this time of the year. I know he was banged up earlier in the season. He missed a couple games here and there, but this is what you need out of a veteran wide receiver. He's offering big playability down the field. He's leading this offense and helping this pass catching group, who is arguably one of the youngest in the league. If you look at all of them, they're under 26 years old, with the exception of Odell. And then we had a surprise sighting of Laquan Treadwell today.
Yeah.
Um, but that is arguably his two biggest additions in the last two seasons. You can argue Jadeveon Clowney. I think he's a half sack away from his first double digit sack season of his
Yeah.
career in year 10, which is incredible. And Van Noy is playing out of his mind. Odafe always got sack number 5 or 6. It looked like he was offsides, but dude just fell, not even in the neutral zone, and still beat the tackle like a drum and got that sack. Um, it's been incredible to watch this football team, and I'm so excited to see what they're gonna do. I know the job's not done, and I'm riding high right now. This is one of those situations where we have been waiting forever, and our buddy Frank said it best though, Josh. We dreamed to have a quarterback like this, and
So long.
it took so long. It took 20 years, 22 years. It seems like, to get a good quarterback in this organization that transcends. And you and I love Flacco to death. We love Joe, but Joe didn't do what Lamar's doing. Now Joe won
No.
a Super Bowl, but that was the best 4 games of Joe's career. Joe wasn't playing in the regular season like this. I don't
No.
care what anybody says.
No.
Lamar is the best quarterback we've ever had on this football team, and it's not close.
Yeah.
And I was just wanting this bullshit to be over. And now you look around the league at all these teams that passed on him: Atlanta,
Seems
Tampa,
so now, doesn't it?
Indy, um, the Giants, the
Seems
Jets.
silly now, huh?
They look crazy. They, they look absolutely insane. And Lamar got paid and got better, which is,
Yeah.
if Lamar wins this Super Bowl the way that we think that he is a bona fide Hall of Famer. And I hate
Oh,
saying,
absolutely.
but the MVP that he's going to win this year, the one that he won in 19, the quarterback rushing records, he's probably going to break Michael Vick's career rushing record for a quarterback in the next year or two. The dude is he's lightning in a bottle. He's a once in a generation quarterback. And I argue, I don't care about pass yards. I don't care about any of that. The dude's probably the best quarterback in football right now. And I'm even going to put him
Easily.
Patrick Mahomes because
Something's
he's
not right with the Chiefs. Something's not right with him, man.
look.
They're off.
The thing is, it doesn't matter.
It
I'm
doesn't.
not looking at what's wrong with anybody else. I'm looking at what's right with us. This
Right.
dude is playing lights out football. He is the most efficient he's ever been. He's making throws
Absolutely.
now. He's seeing the field. He's not just making one or two reads and dropping the ball and running. The dude is a bona fide NFL quarterback now, and he's 26, 27 years old.
Young.
He's technically not even in his prime yet.
Nope.
If you look at guys like Manning and Brady, they didn't hit their peak until 28, 29, 30 years old.
Yep.
And if this is the beginning of his peak, shit, I'm cool with it.
Hey, man, let's get a couple rings out of it.
And there's a lot of people that listen to this show that think that Lamar isn't going to win us a ring. He he looks like he's on his way to it.
Right.
And I'm not gonna speak anything into existence, but this dude right here, he wins the Super Bowl, brings the third Lombardi to Baltimore. He is etched in stone as a Baltimore legend. He's up there with Johnny. He's up there with Cal. He's up there with
Oh,
Murray.
yeah.
He's that. He is that dude. He's I can't say enough about him. And I was so skeptical when we gave him that money, but he's proving that he knew what he was doing. He
Mm-hmm.
knew his worth, and he is showing people why the Ravens invested almost $300 million into him.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic. This When you think he can't play any better, he goes out and does it again. We
He's
thought
been
that
doing it
last
all year, consistent over and over.
yeah, we thought that the Detroit game was going to be his pinnacle. He goes out the next week and blows out Seattle.
Yeah.
Then after all that, he's in a dogfight with the LA Rams a couple weeks ago. Leads the team on to tie the game, and in overtime, Tylan Wallace has the punt return for the touchdown. He goes on national television on Christmas night and outduels the favorite for MVP head to head, and lights up a San Francisco defense that was absolutely shocked and confused. They had no idea what to do with him. Miami comes to town, put up 56 on him. The last touchdown, well, he put up 49. Huntley put up the last touchdown, which was a beautiful throw, by the way. I thought he was throwing in the triple coverage, but Charlie Kohler came out of nowhere and caught that touchdown.
Sure did.
Yeah, I I don't like to really criticize the other team a whole lot when we talk, especially in post game, because it's normally all about our Ravens. But it was egregious that Mike McDaniel left his starting defense in there down 30, and Bradley Chubb most likely tore his ACL and is going to miss the rest of the season and probably most of next year recovering from that. And you paid that man over $100 million. He's your best pass rusher. Why is he in the game 49?
That's crazy.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely insane. And he didn't get hit by anybody. His knee buckled when he was chasing down Melvin Gordon. Shout out to Melvin Gordon scoring a touchdown, his first of the year. But that's it doesn't. It makes it, and it took Bradley Chubb shredding his knee for him to yank his starters. Like we were all confused. What is the point of having them in there? You're down 4 touchdowns. Get your
Yeah,
guys out of the game. Live to see another day. That right there was arrogance.
yeah.
I hate to see it. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But Bradley Chubb ripped his knee apart when
Oh man, he was screaming. We could hear it.
yeah, Frank said it perfectly. You can hear him screaming on these microphones that are better now than ever. He's on the ground writhing in pain. He was crying on the cart leaving the field. You're down 30 fucking points in the middle of the fourth quarter and you got your ones out there trying to prove a point. At that point, all of our starters, with the exception of Isaiah Likely, was out of the game.
Yeah.
And the only reason that Likely stayed in the game is because we only got 2 tight ends on the roster right now. And I don't know if Scotty Washington's ever been activated.
I don't think so.
It's crazy, man.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we've had a fantastic show, man, and we're riding high, and it's Ravens Nation is ready for whatever next week brings. I won't be too surprised if Harbaugh just rests everybody. Get
You
this
still
team
got to do
out.
a Pittsburgh prep show.
Yeah, we still got to do. Oh yeah, we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop kicking out shows. Yeah, it remains to be seen what Harbaugh's going to do. Like to see all the guys get healthy. Because this game is absolutely meaningless other than just add another notch to the belt. I really don't care one way or another what happens with Pittsburgh. I think that we can take our
Still
twos
want
out.
to beat them.
Yeah, I think we can take our second team out there and still beat the shit out of them.
Adam, your punk ass better come on here as our Steelers guest.
He's going to.
Yeah.
He has no choice.
Yeah, he's coming
It's
on.
his goddamn network.
It is.
But yeah. Is there anything else you want to hit before we wrap this show up?
Yeah, I want to hit something. That's my pillow.
Hey, that's funny.
Hey man, I'm tired.
Yeah, we're not in our 20s anymore. We're staying up to see the ball drop. I taped it. I'm gonna watch it when I wake up tomorrow morning.
Bro, every year my children, like this year, they don't know. They think it's live, but I just pulled up on YouTube the 2023 one. I do it every year. Like last year, it's the 2022 one. I just pulled up on YouTube. They think it's a lie. They think they stayed up to midnight and all that, but it's really 9 o'clock.
Yep, I did
I lie to
that.
my children.
Got to. But go ahead and sign us off, buddy. We'll be back on Thursday night around 9:30. Yep, we're gonna do our last NFL regular season preview show of the 2023 football season. We're gonna have Adam on. Might have another Steelers guest. Don't know what's going on, but
maybe we can do like a playoff special show on our bye week. Preview some of the
we can try
games
and
in our division.
grab some good guests. Maybe get a couple former players back on. Want to say Happy New Year to all of our listeners and our followers. We love you guys. This will wrap up 2023 for the big fellas, and we will see y'all on Thursday in the new year. Josh, go ahead and shut it down, brother.
All right, Ravens fans, it's been a day. We got the number 1 seed. We got the division. Now it's time to focus on the playoffs and get that 3rd ring in Baltimore. Shut it down. I'm excited. Man cave's closed, motherfucker.